Good evening and welcome to Piglet's Perplexing Potholder Patterns. Tonight we are going to weave our way slowly through the mini size of It's Raining Hearts that produces a single heart. I'm going to be illustrating it for you in red and white for high contrast. In the same way that this pattern is drawn in black and white, that's simply for high contrast. You can substitute whatever colors you like for these particular choices. The pattern itself. Up here in the corner is a picture of what the front looks like when you're done. Here we have what the back looks like. With some of these patterns, as you can see, the front is markedly different from the back. And when you're making a new one, it's always good to turn it over and check to see what you may have accidentally created unintentionally. As for the body of the pattern itself, here is our chart. We're going to be doing a mini version. We work that on an 18 peg loom using every other peg. Our first column is white, and we alternate across the columns with our two color schemes. It could be a light color, a dark color, a hot pink and a red, your team colors, one solid color and a rainbow of colors, whatever you're comfortable with. Similarly for the rows, you can have 9 of them alternating in your colors. Here we have the light color, or one of the colors on the outside, and we end up outlining our heart in the other color scheme in these rows and columns. Okay. As I work through the pattern, I'm going to cross off the lines. I'm very fond of Harrisville loops. This is their basic red and white. This is the traditional 18 peg loom. I like to keep my loops in pairs tucked in on each other, whoop, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and string my rows and, string my columns first. Then I'm going to weave my rows across. So now when I put them on, I take a minute to stretch and fit. You know, it looks like I'm putting them on as rows. I am, and then I'm going to rotate my loom. It's a lot easier to work in this direction for me. Give it a nice little stretch. Make sure it fits comfortably. Sometimes they're a little tight. It's okay to go ahead and pull it really hard. You'll hear a little popping, and it'll relax a little bit. That's better than having it too tight and pulling on the loom. Oh, good Lord. I'm putting them on every instead of every other. All right, let's try paying attention. Every other, because we're doing the mini version, and so we alternate and we skip, and we alternate and we skip. And one of the great things about pot holders as an art is that it's really very easy to fix them. You could have completely woven, you got a little tug, you could have completely woven a full pot holder. Decide that you're unhappy with the color of one particular loop or set of loops, you can just pull out those single loops and weave in a fresh one. Okay, here we have our
I didn't get that. Could you
columns alternating. White, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. Matching our columns here. Okay, and now we're going to turn to the rows. We're going to start at the top with a white right here. And before we weave it in, we're going to go ahead and just stretch it out, pop it on the pegs, make sure, yep, it'll fit the whole thing. Now, let's study our columns here. In every square, there is both a color and a direction. The color is the color you should expect to see on the loom. In the spots where you have both a white on the row and the column, the square is going to be white no matter which of those loops is on top. Similarly in the red ones. And you can see you have a diagonal framework here. This one must be white. This one must be red. This one must be white. This one must be red, no matter which loop is on top. In the intersections of the white and the red rows, however, it matters which one is on top because that dictates the color that you get in that location. So the bar indicates which direction the loop on top runs. So if the loop on top goes this way, that means we want to see, yes, let me hold this up. We want to see a loop that runs this direction. And if the loop goes this way horizontally, then we want to see a loop that goes in this direction. So loops that go in this direction, those are columns. Loops that go in this direction, those are rows. And so the direction tells you which loop you should be seeing on top of the fabric at this point in your pot holder. All right, let's start. I like to weave mine from the middle to the end. That helps to distribute my tension across the loop. So the middle one here is number 5. Yep. And in this square of row 1 and column 5, we want to have the column on top. So I am just going to unhook my column and drop it on top. Look at that, it's on top. Okay, what else goes on top? Well, this one goes on top. That's this white one right here. We're going to take that off and put it on top. And now the very first one. Sure. Take that off and put it on top. Are we done? Nope, we haven't done this side. So here we have the row on top, the row on top, up, and here we want to have red. And also we indicate the bar to confirm that we want to have the column. Whoa, dropped it. That's okay. Loops come off, you just put them back on. You are in control of your loom. Okay, there's our first row. Now we take our highlighter and we say, okay, I did that row. And now it's a lot easier to see where you are next. Look, we are doing a red row. So here's my red loop. I start again in the middle, and I know that I want to have the red on top. So this has got to go on top. It goes on top here, and it also goes on top here. So let's go ahead and stretch it out and put it on. Okay, and we see that we want to go over and over, and we want to go under this one. So we take it off, and we go under, put it back on. And then we want to be going with the row here and the row here. So over, yes, row, row. So, and then a column, and then row, row, and then column. So here we come off from this side, and we go under the red, and then we go over the white, and then we go under the red and the white. Under the red and the white. And we just kind of push it up gently, snug it up until it is right up against. We've got a lot of space here because there's because we're using every other peg, so that makes it easy to get my fingers in there. For the traditional weave, I will actually be using a wide-toothed comb to help me adjust the spacing. It's easier to get in there. Okay, we confirmed that we went column, column, row. We want the column on top. We want the row. We want the row. We want the column. We want the row. We want the row. Chant whatever works for you. If I chant over under, I start to get confused, and then I mess things up, and I have to go back and do it again. So horizontal, vertical, over, under, row, column, red, white, although color is not the only thing. Okay, so we did and confirmed that we correctly did row 2. So we're going to cross out all of row 2. And we move on to row 3. Again, I really do like to start in the middle. And you can see here that this white one is going over both 4 and 5. And we're going to go under these 2. So let's do that. We pick it off from this side. We go under these 2 and over 1. So now we're done from here to here. So now we're here. We see that we want to go under 1, over 2, under 1. Take it off from here. We go under 1, over 2, under 1. Latch it on, push it up. I know these gaps look really big. Trust me, just keep going. Everything is going to pull in when we take it off the loop. You will have noticed that I have made a mistake because these should be every other row apart. Well, that is supremely easy to fix. This one should be here, and this one should be here. So we're just going to pick it up and move it. Whop, there, and there. Okay. And now this one, we move down 1, just like that. Okay. Now that's looking a little more even. Okay. Let's go back and confirm row 3. So we go with, we want the row to show, we want the column to show, oops, we want the column to show, we want the row and the row, we want the column, we want the row and the row and the column, and yes, we have finished row 3. Okay, now we're on to a red row, which is going to go on this. Haha, I skipped one this time. Very good, very good. All right. Start with the row 5. As you may have guessed, we're going to go under because we want the white to show. Let's go ahead and go under that. Okay. We're going to go over 1 and then under 1, over 1, under 1. So we go, yes, under and over, and we go under here, and we go over here, and we go under here, and in fact the colors match what we expect. Now let's go to this end. We are here, and we go over 2, and then we go under 2. Take this off, under 2, and drop it right there. All right, we got that one, and cross it off. You see we're getting there pretty fast. All right, now we're down to the middle of the side. Middle, middle. So we're going over 2, under 2, over 1. Over 2, under 2, over 1. All right. Come back here, under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1. Under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1. Okay. Confirm that we have the row, we have the column, we have the row, we have the column, we have the row and the row, we have the column and the column, we have the row. Now we're ready for row number 6. We're going to take this one, we're going to pop it on here to make sure it fits nicely. And go back to the center. a change up here. We're going to be going over these two. So then we go under 2, over 1, under 1. Under 2, over 1, under 1. All right. It was over these two. There we go. Under 1, over 1, under 1. Under 1, over 1, under 1. Lock it in place. Okay. That is our row 6. Our next white comes right here. Middle, 5 and 7. We're just going to go under that. And then over, under, over. So under the middle, over 2, under 1, over 1, under, over 2, under 1, over 1. Okay, back in the other direction, we go over 2, under 1, over 1, over 2, under 1, over 1. Beautiful. Triple check. The row, the column, the row, the row, the column, the row, the row, the column, the row. All right, loop 8. Pop it right here. Check our beginning, 5. As you might have expected, we want the red. We're going to be going over. Then we go under 1, over 2, under 1. Under 1, over 2, under 1. Now in the other direction. Under 1, over 2, under 1. Over 2, under 1. And neaten it up. Quadruple check. Vertical, horizontal, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, horizontal, vertical. Row 8 is now complete. Now we take our final loop, pop it on top. Okay, now 5 against the 5, we're going to go under this one. So let's go ahead and do the thing. Now, this is something that I often do when I'm working, and I'm going to go ahead and do it now just to illustrate. I'm going to take my pattern and I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take my loom and I'm going to turn it over. And now I'm going to work this top row up at the top where it's easier for me to get my fingers in than down at the bottom where I can't see what I'm doing as well because my hands are covering those pegs. So now this is our row. Horizontals and the verticals are still horizontals and verticals just like they were. We find the center one. We know that we want the center one to be vertical, to be the column, and to go over. So we take that loop, and this is the great part when you're working with the final loop. You can do the thing I did at the start where you just unloop and re-loop. And now we also know that we need this one, so we take this off the loop, pull it under and over, weave it in. These are correct. And now we want this one to go over, so we unhook it, we pull it over, we rehook it. These last two are correct. We have finished weaving the body of our mini potholder. So let's turn the pattern back around. Now it's a little hard to see because of, and also turn our loom around. It's a little harder to see because of the gaps in this very loose pattern. It's hard to see that it is in fact matching the colors that you get over here. But we can confirm that yes, if you squint a little bit, it helps. Look at it a little bit sideways. You can see there's the heart. All right, now we're gonna bind off the heart. First thing you need to do is figure out which. As I start binding off, I begin by taking away my pattern, which I no longer need. And with my wide tooth comb, you can use any implement that's going to get into the spaces or near to the spaces that you can then sort of tidy everything up with. The crochet hook works. You have to do each one individually. I like this because you can get a really straight line as you've got multiple points. Okay. The vertical usually stays pretty smooth when you do it from the center out. If you work from one side to the other, you'll find this helpful to push them back into position. And now a crochet hook. Any crochet hook you want. I am fond of this one. It just has an ergonomic handle attached to what is one of the lovely boy smooth crochet hooks. And then decide which corner you want to have as your up, assuming you're going to be hanging these. For this shape, I could hang it this way and it would look a little bit like, I don't know, a fish. Or I could hang it this way and then it really looks like a heart. So I'm going to start from this corner. And so I confirm on my design that yes, that is this corner right here. I've got the little red divot and then the heart shape itself running around here. So a little internal divot as well. We'll start here. I put my hook through. I'm going to pick up the next one. And to maintain the tension as I go all the way around, I'm just going to take this loop and I'm just going to put it back on the loom until I get done with everything else. It goes fast because there are only 9 per side. I get the second one. It also draws up quickly. And you can see a lot of distortion coming in as you work. It's totally fine. It will work itself out. Get to the corner. I'm going to go ahead and hang this one. I'm not going to bother hanging more than that. It's very small. I'm working fast. It's already very even. I think it'll be fine. Keep going around the edge. Through the middle, I pick it up and pull it through. Through the middle, I pick it up and pull it through. I like to go through the middle. It's up to you. I think it's probably good to be consistent. Hang one on to keep it in place. Keep going. See how much it's shrinking already? Work my way all the way around. Alternating red and white loops around the edge. With this style pattern, you always get a very nice, attractive edge, no matter what's going on in the middle. Okay, another corner. All right, we're on the last side. I'm just going to work fast and keep going. Okay, I can pop these off. They are accounted for. Now I like to take that last one and work it in here for just a little extra tightness of this loop. I'm going to put my ring into this one. Okay, now you can see it is dramatically pulling up and distorting. I'm temporarily going to pop a loop in here till I'm ready to put my ring on just to keep it from disappearing. Now we go back to the corners and work them so they turn out in kind of a nice shape. This one we tugged to hang on, so we just pull it back into shape. This corner similarly, pull that loop back into shape. Square up the corners. Okay, now with the kind where you're having the tension draw it in, you're going to have to expect to do a little extra fluffing, more than you would for your normal size pot holder. Just much squarer. So it is fluffy. It is absorbent. I would not use it for a tippy teacup, but if you've got a big fat square mug, this will help hold it down. You have a nice giant water bottle, it'll help keep it from dripping. There you go. One. Love. Tiny, tiny heart. Happy Valentine's Day.